On this episode of Pimp My Setup, I'm going to be talking about your setups you submitted for tips, tricks, feedback, and much more. So if you're interested in that, then sit back, relax, and interact because the show starts now.
It's time for the original setup show dedicated to providing you with tips, tricks, and feedback to pimp out your setup. Hosted by Matt Philly with new special guests every week. Coming at you live in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pimp My Setup, episode number 203. Recorded live on March 12th, 2017. My name's Matt Philly. You can find me on Twitter. I'm Matt Philly. And as always, we're joined by producer Tom.
Guys, thank you for the support over the past week.
Yeah. Give it up for Tom Takeover. Big fan of it. And I said this during the live show. I'll say it again. I offered Tom the Tuesday show slot for him to host. Let me know your thoughts down below. He did decline, but maybe if we get some positive comments sent his way, he will say yes. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
What will it take for you to do it?
I don't know. If a lot of people are in support of it, I know a lot of people missed you, so I don't want,
but they'd still be getting me 2 times a week. But yeah, so I am back from Florida. I'm surprised everyone had a great time without me, and it's kind of made it seem like they didn't really want me back, but I'm back and you're gonna enjoy it. So yeah, a quick little bit of information. Obviously, we're booked to
324, I think.
324. So you want to get your setup submitted now. PimpMySetup.com/Q is the place to go for that. If you want to skip the line, go to PimpMySetup.com/perks. $25 gets you on the next episode guaranteed. And actually, funny fact, all the setups today, all 8 are fast passes. Yeah. And we actually have a 2-episode buffer, so you don't have to be worried about messing up your position on the show. You're still going to be on the same episode number that you were given. We still have a 1-episode buffer, so everything's fine in that regard. SetupAddicts.com. It's a Facebook group with over almost 24,000 members. Yeah. And then also on top of that, Setup Addicts Discord is discord.gg/Matt. That's where we're going to be playing games, talking, doing stuff like that. And the last thing I'll say, I know it's a lot of information being thrown at you, but Tuesday we have apparently 16 inches of snow coming to the studio. So chances are we are not going to want to shovel, especially if it's going to be consistently snowing throughout the day. So we might be doing the show from my room like we've done before. I got to order some RAM because I lost a RAM stick. It's a whole story. But if I get that all situated, I will still be doing the show. If not, we might skip a day. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think
merch?
that's about it.
Like merch?
Oh, yeah. Soon we'll have merch coming. Not this. This is old school.
Oh, yeah.
And the material it shrunk, so I feel like an Oompa Loompa and it's just not good. But anyways, okay. Let's get into the first set of the day, submitted by Ethan, who's 15. He loves playing games, and he will be painting the subwoofer box soon. Now, at first, I was like, damn, that's cool, like a 15-inch subwoofer. And then I was like, no. That's probably not good because look at how much legroom he has. It's bad enough to have the PC there and kind of be like a nuisance to your leg space, but then having a 15-inch subwoofer just kind of kills what you're going for there. So
it's a great idea, for a leg, like a leg basically, but it's too big.
Yeah, if he didn't have that little corner and had maybe a bigger room, that'd be epic.
Oh, yeah.
But I have a hard time understanding your love for music because you have that subwoofer with a subwoofer next to it. And then on top of that, if we go to the next photo, and I didn't want to do this, but I have to do it. I don't know if you really understand sound because you have your rear speaker next to your non-rear speaker. The rear speakers should be, get this, in the rear, behind you. That's the whole idea of having that soundstage set up. So doesn't really make sense to me. I don't know how you're using the subwoofer with the other subwoofer, what that really sounds like. I'm sure your mom hates you when you play music. Yeah. It just seems like overkill, and it's really hard to kind of understand. I get it. You don't have a lot of desk space, but that's no excuse for shoving rear speakers behind your monitor. And even your normal speakers are being blocked. You know what I mean? So just a complete confusing situation, if you will. So aside from that, let's just block out the subwoofer and the speakers. I think that the left monitor, it's really not as usable as I would like. I get it. You're really tight on desk space, so it's kind of hard to make it work. But I think you could find a way to kind of push it in the corner a little bit.
I missed those sounds.
Oh, yeah. Because it just seems like a little out there. But that's not the end of the world. I think your speakers are a more important thing to be focused on. The Blue Yeti, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But really, though, there's not a lot you can do with such a small desk. So you're going to have to condense. You're going to have to kind of figure out how bad you want each thing on the desk, if it takes priority over something else, so on and so forth. But it really just comes down to your desk space nonetheless. And then, wire management. Yeah, there was definitely an attempt. We could see the tacking. We could see the zip ties. Really great stuff. But I would like to see the big strand go behind the leg. Yeah, it's a different color than the leg itself, but it just makes it a little more streamlined. It makes it a little bit nicer. And then from there, everything going along the bottom. I mean, that's just a lot of zip ties. I don't think you actually need that many zip ties. Honestly, because here's the thing. I would say you probably used, like, right in that bottom strip alone, close to
probably like 20.
Yeah, 20, 15, something like that. You could have gotten away with 3, honestly. So that's just how I feel about it. It's not an awful setup, and don't think that I'm bashing you, but you obviously wanted to get some feedback, hence you getting a fast pass. And I do think it's an easy fix for sure. Until you get more desk space, though, you are going to have to make the sacrifice and decide what's more important. But I think that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So and someone made a great point. That's gonna suck undoing. Like, let's say you had to get a cable out. Ooh, that's gonna suck. And someone also said, headphone stand. Yeah, of course, doesn't have room for it, so something under the desk would be nice. And then the mic arm itself, when you're trying to close the door.
Yeah, it's directly in the way.
Yeah, I would assume he just bends it up and calls it a day. And if not, then that'd be really like
even the stand on the floor, like closing the door, the stand's like
it's an issue. So it's tight space. So I understand it's kind of hard to be doing what you're doing, but next setup submitted by Seth. Now this, before you have a cow, okay? This was his before photo. He's 16. He used a setup for gaming web design. He's looking for stuff to put on his wall since he just moved in. So this was at his old place, and now check it out. I mean, that's a difference. That's a big difference right there. You got to yeah, I like that. Yeah. So honestly, take a look at this. This is different. We've seen this monitor arrangement before, but it's definitely different. If you go to the third photo, you'll get like a dead-on straight look at it. It's interesting. Now, it definitely comes down to if you're a giraffe or not. So we've seen it before, but when we saw it, it was because there were monitors above it, and the bottom ones were at more of an angle down, sort of like you're looking down at like a tablet or something to that extent, and it made more sense. Here, I don't know if it really makes sense, if I'm being honest. If that's the 27-inch version of that monitor, they don't have a VESA mount. I used to have 3 of those. I gave them to my brother. We made a VESA mount hack. I have a video on my channel on how to actually make them VESA compatible. It's really easy and cheap to do. So I think you need to throw it up a little bit, make it a little bit higher. I can only imagine how uncomfortable that would be after a long amount of time of gaming and so on and so forth, because it looks like, he is into gaming. And like I said, he uses his setup for gaming and also for web design. And I could see that being really uncomfortable. You're trying to go back and forth between the monitors, and obviously your head's not moving too much because the monitors are actually a pretty good size for the corner of the desk. But it's just like long term, I don't like looking down. I'd rather just keep my head straight. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I feel like maybe if he was like a small person, like it would be okay if he was like straight on, like his keyboard, like his hands were on the keyboard.
Yeah,
and
like a 5-year-old.
Yeah, but I feel like looking down is just not ideal. Nope.
Oh, sweet. So that's one of the main things I saw here that I'm not a huge fan of. But in the next photo, photo number 4, just cable management, man. I mean, that is skill. That is absolutely awesome. Major props to you on your cable management. Huge fan of it. Really like it. But if you look at the first photo, this is where I have another issue with the setup. He has these huge speakers with the huge sound system and everything, which is cool, but you're not really using that for your computer now, are ya? Because if you are, then your right side is like not getting any sound. So I'm sure if you're using your laptop and you're using, I don't know why you'd be using your Beats if you're using those speakers, but it's like maybe you're a DJ, like wicka wicka wah wah.
And he just listens to it in his room, like, just walking around.
Mm-hmm. But it's just like, I feel like it's such an eyesore. Yeah, it fills up space, but especially the corner, having that huge Samsung piece right there, that's an eyesore for sure. I'm not a huge fan of it. I love how the PC is sitting there. You can see the inside. It looks clean. It looks really nice. NZXT Plus. I can't speak English. But I think that's My main concern is just the placement of the speakers, how big they are. Is it really worth having? And like Mike just said in the chat, left ear DJ, that's his new nickname. So yeah, headphone stand, something I would recommend. He has a controller stand. I love it. I love how everything kind of works. I love how the microphone arm can be hidden, like in that photo. Where to go? And then you go to the next photo, and it's like, oh, there it is. So I think that's really nice. Cable management's awesome. Theme and usability is where you kind of lost points for me. Everything else, he did a wonderful job, and definitely a 10 on cable management. So great setup. I like it. I definitely think there's a lot to come with it. I can't wait until you put stuff up on the wall and so on and so forth. But until we see it, let's move on, right, Tom?
Yep.
Yeah. Next setup of the day, submitted by Logan, who's 17. He uses a setup for gaming and graphic design, and he would love to improve it. So, damn, you ruined it. Staying here, right, on this photo. First off, we'll get to the cables in a second, but just looking at it, you're like, wow, he doesn't really have that much desk space. And then you go to the next photo, and you're like,
oh,
why? Why is it so... Like, I have a problem where I do not like having my mouse pad that close to the edge of the desk. You know what I mean? It's just like not ideal. It feels weird. I don't like it. I like having a little bit of separation. And then on top of that, I don't like when the monitors and stuff are just so close. I mean, they're really in the middle of the desk.
yeah.
It's very odd, if you ask me. So I'm not a fan of that, and that's a huge problem for cable management. It's no bueno, senor. I think that the attempt at cable management was very odd. Literally just stick of tape, like, yeah, that's it. Look, it's making a shape. It's all good.
He spells his name out.
Yeah, like I don't, and like having the AC adapter there and so on and so forth. Like, and it's funny because he also does have sort of a like a line of cables starting to go through to his computer, which is great, but you got to manage them the proper way. And don't make, like, let me see if I zoom. If that's a zip tie, okay. I mean, just don't make the zip ties too tight, but you have to have it needs to be one, like, see how tight it is around the part where the zip tie is? It should all be that width, if you will, throughout the whole stream of cables. So definitely fix that. Cable management's not hard to fix in this setup. Really, I don't understand why the monitors are so close, and like out of sight, out of mind, I think needs to be worked on. There's some stuff on the desk that doesn't need to be there. Just Mountain Dew galore. Really, it's just interesting. And then if you look at the fourth photo, you can see there's nothing on the walls. There's no personality. There's really nothing going on here. So Logan, I think your fixes are super easy to do. Push everything back, fix the cables up a little bit. Don't have them just kind of like laying down underneath the middle of the desk. Keep them to the side. And then put stuff up on the wall. Bada bing, bada boom. You like triple your score.
Yeah.
But yeah, you ready for the next setup?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, next setup submitted by Jack. He's 12 and he's set up for gaming at schoolwork. And Jack, he's a cool guy and all, but like he sent us better photos. And then he's like, nah, this one's better, like last minute. And I was like, okay. So we don't have a dead on photo. And I would show the older ones, but like he did clean it up. It's just at a terrible angle. So he did send us a cable management photo. We'll go to that first. Okay. I mean, better. At least it's not all throughout the width of the desk, just free flowing. In this scenario, it's just sort of in one area, just not maintained. You know what I mean? So kind of, just kind of sloop them up. Ding, ding. You know what I'm saying?
Why does he have his PS4 on the ground? I feel like he has the real estate on his desk to, put it up there, but maybe he's just not using it.
But even then, Tom, why not put a bin of games, if you go to the first photo, in the left corner? Why not put that there instead of the PS4? That's more important. You don't want the games to get hurt, Tom.
I guess so, and his hat. He needs his hat to be safe.
Especially the hat.
Yeah.
Really, though, I mean, the cables are easy to fix. Don't have, like Tom said, don't put the PS4 on the ground. It's no bueno. Just a little bit more work and you can make that look pretty good. Obviously, we always talk about Tech Flex. That will help a lot too. And then here's another one where the walls are really just like, I don't understand the stadium on the right side. That photo seems like in such an odd, weird place unless you have something on the other side that we can't see in the photo. The map on the left side, like, okay, that's cool, but something above the setup itself has to definitely go there. Out of sight, out of mind on the actual desktop itself. Too much crap everywhere. It's got to be clean. I think if anything, the bin of games would be better on the floor, and then the PlayStation standing up in the corner would have been a lot nicer. You have the controller stands, you have all those different accessories, which is great, but you got to just, at least for the photo, get rid of some of the stuff on the desk that you really don't need. And you have a great monitor. You're 12 years old. It's a great setup.
Yeah.
You just got to kind of maintain it a little bit better.
Not a lot of nice stuff. You just, you need to spice it up now.
Yeah.
You're 12.
Yeah, that's literally it. I mean, even the sheets, the bed looks cool. Yeah. The wool color's cool. He's got a cool chair, great monitor, great desk, great everything. It's just, you got to do it. And like someone just said in the chat, where's personality today? We haven't seen really anything. Later in the show, there's definitely setups with personality. And speaking of personality, this next one actually has quite a bit of it. Submitted by Damon. Right? Is that how you say it? Damon. For some reason, I was just confused. 25 years old, former Marine. He worked on an AV-8B Harrier, and he got out as a sergeant in 2016. He's currently a full-time student looking to get his license as an aircraft mechanic, as well as work full-time on a Boeing 700 series passenger aircraft. His wife is a Marine too, and she is currently pregnant with his daughter, who will be here, get this, next month. That's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, so congratulations. That is going to definitely change your life. And yeah, so for now, he has it set up in a tighter space since he's in a 2-bedroom apartment. One of them has to be a nursery, So this is the agreed upon space for his setup between him and his wife, because obviously you don't really have too much room to work with. He uses his setup for SketchUp, gaming, video editing, and streaming, and he said he's still really new to the whole setup thing, so he's just kind of looking for a few tips, tricks. Anyways, so taking a look at this, first off, that photo, you look at it, it's just, whoa, that's a lot, but really cool because everything obviously has meaning to him, like the flag, all the stuff on the wall, all those patches and stuff like that. That is really cool. And I definitely think personality is here. Now, next photo, he's got a gun. Whoa, dude. I don't know if that was just for the photo, hey, look, I got a gun.
It looks like a badass gun, though.
Yeah, it does. I would probably put that to the side, just to kind of free up a little bit of space. He also has that speaker on the right side. He says he wants to get another one because they link up, and so you have left and right, obviously. So that would be cool. I think that would work. It's just it takes up a lot of desk space, and you don't really have a lot of space as is. So I could see that being a little bit of an issue. The next photo, he's got his little footstool, and then he's got the cables. Really, honestly, you could have just shoved it up there just a little bit more. And it would have looked oh, look at that. It's so nice. But obviously it's managed. It's good. You got a good score for it. So maybe just a little bit more and it'll be good. And the next photo is how it looked before he had his PC and all that crazy stuff. And I like this. And the reason I included this is because, yes, he still has a lot of his personality and stuff, but I think the bookshelves look a lot more neater.
Yeah,
they look like there's a nice display to it. Look at the left side, it looks really clean and really nice. Wouldn't you agree with that?
No, yeah, and I feel there's not a lot on the desk either, which is kind of nice. It
helps.
Yeah, but I like all the stuff that you have in your desk now. It's a little cramped.
Yeah, so if we go back now to the first photo, you kind of see he still has the bookshelves, for the most part, are pretty much the same, but for some reason the bookshelves, excluding everything else, look a little bit more crazy. Yeah. So if you just kind of tone it down just a bit, I think that would be awesome. And then honestly, I think part of the problem is having the PC on the desk. And actually, people are making a good point. It looks like the desk comes out more on the right side because the cables and stuff, because it's a huge case. So as awesome as the case is, there's nothing really inside that seems to be lighting it up, making it look really badass. So I would love to see it maybe on the floor, if it'll reach, if it'll fit under there rather. If not, that's just kind of hard because I would like to see you centered to the desk. That'll make more room for the extra speaker. It'll make a little bit more breathability, and also just using the mouse, I could see that being an issue. I'm sure you're not constantly hitting into the PC, but I bet there are times where you are kind of accidentally going ooh, a little too much to the right. And there's not a lot of depth to the desk, which is a big issue. But given your circumstances, definitely it is hard to work with. So for me, I definitely think it's a great setup. I think it's, considering your space, you did a great job, but just condense the bookshelves just a tad. I'm not saying like get rid of everything, just kind of like how it looked in that other photo. And I think if you did that, it would look 10 out of 10. And then maybe get a better place for the PC, center yourself to the desk so you have more breathability, and it'll be great. And until you can move, because I'm sure eventually you'll move into like a big house or whatever, then I'm looking forward to your setup, because you obviously have a lot of cool shit to show off because of what you've done, which is awesome. So great. I like it. And yeah, anything you want to add to it, Tom?
No, I think you hit everything.
Cool. Well, good luck with your daughter.
Yes.
And congratulations. Let's go to the next setup submitted by Matt. What? My name's Matt.
This is not your setup.
This is not, Tom, this is not my setup. Anyways, my name is Matt, and this guy's name is Matt, but he's 24, and he uses setup for console gaming, web browsing, and some PC gaming, as well as watching movies. So, yeah, taking a look at this setup, I think the desk is very unique. It was probably like $4,000 at like some antique store or something.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But it's got that cool finish to it and everything, which I like. Very simple, very modern. It's very nice. I like be our guest. Okay, but yes, taking a look at this, I think it's actually a really good setup. But there are some critiques that I have, as always, and I think following these critiques, this setup would just shoot right up to the top, and that is. Mainly, like, if you look at the first photo and you zoom in on the placement of the PS4, I don't like that. Why is it half under the monitor when you have all that room to the left side? So stand up the PS4 in the left corner. And then he has his Xbox in the right corner, hidden. And if you look in the third photo, you can really see it. I don't like that either. It's like a mess of cables and stuff over there. I think that needs to be on the left side. You know, that's part of the reason. I get you're trying to hide it, but the thing is, you have all that room to the left side, so utilize it, and it'll make a lot more sense. Plus, you also have your entertainment setup right there. If anything, which that is obviously I'm not going to critique that since we're talking about specifically the setup, but the entertainment setup is a mess because it's, first off, just random shit everywhere, boxes and stuff, but it's glass. So you're seeing all these cables. It's not ideal. So honestly, if anything, if you don't like how the Xbox fits on the left side, if it doesn't really make the most sense, I'd put it on the right side. You'd still be able to run it to your computer setup. No problem at all. And you could also have a switch so it also goes to the TV. And if you're using it right now on the TV and not the computer setup, I'd be really confused. So I definitely think that would be ideal. I think if anything, if you want, you could, because you already have the PS4 on the left side, I'd stand it up in the corner. It would look fine.
Damn.
If not, I'd put it on the entertainment setup and then just have a switch and run it through. Done. Easy. Like I have a hard time understanding the thought process behind it, because it does make it look a little bit more jam-packed, not a lot of open space. So not a huge fan of that. Headphones, definitely headphone stand would be nice in the left corner if you put the consoles on the entertainment setup. And then the mix amp, I think, should go a little bit further back. Definitely controller stands. You have a phone dock, which is good. That's really just doing that will make a huge difference. Huge. I mean, wire management's not bad, but here's the thing. In the second photo, he tries to play it off like, look how good my cables are, but look into the right side. It's like it's not showing up.
Yeah, it's going to this. This is the first I can go.
All right, zoom out, and yeah, you could.
Yeah,
if you look into the corner, you'll see there's just a ton of cables, a ton. So, like, yeah, maybe at quick glance it doesn't look like there's anything there, but right where the PC and all that stuff meets, there's quite a bit. So, also, I'm not even a fan of where the entertainment setup is, because it looks like there's that white, weird beige sort of line going down. It should be to the right of that. I think that would probably look better, unless you're like really tight on space. But I think it's super easy to fix, and I think honestly getting like a side table or something next to the desk for the PC would look cool, because it's a cool looking PC case that's sort of sandwiched in between two pieces of furniture. It just looks very odd, very weird. So yeah, that's just how I feel about that. Like, it's just weird. But I'm gonna throw the mic over to you, Tom. What do you think about theme?
Theme is okay. I mean, I like the poster, the Michael Jordan poster, and it's being blocked by the left monitor, but you know what? You can easily move it up. I mean, I wish that coat hanger rack or whatever, I wish that was the same color as your desk, because I think that would be like a nice like matching.
Yeah, because it blends into the wall.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what he was going for, but at the same time, it just looks a little weird.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It would look cool because it would not only match the desk, but it would contrast from the the wall itself. I think the Michael Jordan poster could go on the left wall under the other one, then center the coat rack thing with the medals on it to the setup itself, because it just looks so out of place and off.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. I think it's pretty easy to fix, but I definitely would like to see the contrast in the shelf, the better console placement, show off the PC better, move the entertainment setup to the right, and just sort of fix those cables and get everything in the right spot. I think you'll be ready to go. But let's go to the next setup submitted by David. No, I'm just kidding. David, 52. He's a system admin who has worked in tech for the last 21 years. Hey, I'm 21. His setup is in his family room, so cable management was crucial. He bought the desk 15 years ago. Obviously, he's kept up with it, made it look nice throughout those years. And he built the housing for a stereo system, an enclosure for the speakers, a cable management box, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I don't mean that in like a weird way. I mean, like, literally, he built so much that like the list just goes on. But me and Tom were talking about this. Like, the photos are so high quality.
Yeah.
Like, look at the second one and look at just the monitors. Like,
so clear. It's like no glare. Like,
yeah, it's like so slick. Like, it just looks good, like really good.
He probably had like professional lighting equipment, and he like pulls out his tripod.
Like, Tony, hold it up 7 inches higher.
He had a lot of pictures too, like, you know, like
yeah.
There's a lot of pictures. Just the room was so sick.
So here's the thing: he's, like we said, he's in his family room, so it's hard because it's out in the open, and he did not want cables being seen. He didn't want it to be like a nuisance or anything like that. So it's crucial for him to keep it nice and tidy, which I think he did an amazing job with. It's really a great setup. And the thing is, like, you look around for cables and you really have a hard time finding a cable. Like, seriously, insane job. Really, really good job. 10 on cable management. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the desk, and I understand. I understand he's had it for a long time and whatnot, but I think it just looks weird. And the reason I don't like it that much is because if you go to the third photo, it doesn't match that. And I think this is sick.
Yeah.
The red, the black, and then like all, like, first off, the game collection right there. That is so cool.
That's how to do it. That's how to organize it.
Yeah, that is like perfect. That looks so cool. He's got vinyl, which I love. I think that's awesome. He's got so many cool things on this part that add to the theme and whatnot. But I would like to see, not necessarily like the theme thrown throughout everything else, but I'd like to see just sort of the same feel. So like the black furniture, hints of red throughout everything. I think that would be great. But when I look at the original setup, I wouldn't even think that the photo we just saw was connected to this.
Oh yeah.
Obviously it's directly behind him, but you get the idea. Now I think the posters, everything else you see on the wall, like there and all the other photos, like just epic. This has so much personality to it, and I love it. That is a helicopter, so I'm probably going to be arrested in the next 5 minutes. No, shit. But taking a look at like the second photo, look at the out of sight, out of mind. Look at the usability. The just so much space, so much just like it just seems very comfortable and easy to use. It's great. It really is. And the cables, again, just really, obviously he's using wireless peripherals, which helps quite a bit, but everything else from the monitors and he's got the speaker enclosure behind, and it's really, really nice. I am a huge fan of it. Things that I would like to see change, obviously I didn't like give him less points because I didn't like his desk. I just think a different desk would help kind of flow throughout, and especially being in a family room, like it would be cool to walk through someone's house and then see this one part of their family room all match and look like super epic. So I think that would be really nice. I wonder if you could take out the top, because it looks like it's still steel beams with like the board and
like
you kind of see like the wood. Yeah, like if you take that out and make that maybe even just red.
I kind of differ with like the matching and all that. I love how unique the desks are, like like the connecting desks. Like I love the silver. I love like the different countertop where like he has it like can kind of match with the cabinet off to the side. I kind of like the silver, black, red kind of look. It's way different than what we usually see. It's like the black Linmon desk. How cool is that? It's
and I agree.
I like it.
And I do love the steel look. Like you said, it matches everything. So what I was getting at was like, what if you take out the tabletop and just made it like, I know you like that color, but if it was black or even just like red or like something like that, I think it would look even better, because that big furniture piece right behind him is black. And then he does have so much red throughout there that it's just odd to me we're not seeing that reflected into the actual setup portion. So if that desktop was black with all the steel and everything like that, that'd be awesome. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But I love it nonetheless. Like, even if he kept it like that, I think it's really a great, amazing setup. Everything just seems to have the right placement. The chair looks super comfortable. And he has so much equipment. He does have a receiver. He does have all those different things. And it's not a mess at all. You know what I mean? Like, it's just super... That's got to take a lot of time. So, really nice setup. Huge fan. Great stuff. Yeah. So, good stuff. Yeah. So, you have anything you want to add to it?
No, you basically said everything. It's an awesome setup. I just love how everything, like you said, is placed and all that.
Yeah.
I think you did a great job.
Me too. Me too, Tom. Me too. Okay. Next and final set of the day, submitted by Max, who's 22, student working towards being a network specialist degree. I read that wrong, but he's not going to be a degree, but he's working to get the degree.
To be a degree. That's the way it works.
He was actually on the show all the way back on episode 129, and this was his setup. So, yeah, just hold on. He now, which we're going to get to in a sec, let me just read it first, now has 8 feet of gorgeous desk space. He actually ditched his 27-inch monitor for a 43-inch 4K TV. He uses his setup for gaming until his brain hurts. And he loves watching anime, doing schoolwork, and occasionally working from home. He's done his best to surround himself with stuff he really enjoys while still having a clean and usable setup. So, let's take a look at it. Really though, taking a look at the setup, I mean, he did it.
He did it. He won.
Yeah, I mean, he did win. I will say that. But quite literally, the things I complained about, he fixed. You know, he did have a side panel. If you look in the original photo, he didn't have it. He took it off for the photo, and he's like, "Nah, I swear I have a side panel." But you know, I said to him, "Yeah, one thing is speakers. You know, you don't have speakers. You need more desk space." Like, he didn't really need it, but I was saying if you're going to add speakers, you're going to want a little bit more desk space. So he's like, no, I need a lot more desk space. And he did it. And really, though, look, now that he's added it, it's almost like the same separation he had in the original photo, but now he's added the speakers and the PlayStation, and it looks good. You know, like really, really nice. The shelves, obviously, super nice. Still pretty much actually different, yeah. He kept it clean. I love just the organization. Really, really, really nice. And he's got the Lord of Ring posters. Like, that works great. You know, adds to the theme, shows what he's all about. And the PC still looks great. He's got headphone mounts underneath the desk. Everything about it is just great. The only problem, underneath the desk there, yes, they're out of sight, out of mind. They're great. He got a great score on cable management. Don't get me wrong. But I do think you could have made that look a little bit nicer. Yeah, it's not often people are going to be like, let me see under your desk. But it's just like, oh my God. But honestly, I think you could easily fix that. It just kind of looks a little half.
It's funny. I feel like if you got a Signum, it wouldn't look like, I think it would be like a 10. Like, because it makes it seem like it's being held in place.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll automatically give it a 10.
Honestly, like, yeah, that's true. That's the only problem. I feel like, considering how great your cable management was for everything else, this just kind of looked a little half-assed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Because like just kind of like bundled and just kind of like chilling.
I feel like
there.
you could easily just tape the ones that are just hanging loose, just like up against the bottom of the desk.
Yeah, it'd be very easy to fix. But I definitely don't think there's too much in this setup. I think it's like compared to the shelves we saw earlier with Damon's setup. I think that this is like the perfect balance.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of figurines and stuff, but it doesn't make me feel like, oh my God, that's a lot of shit. It's like just the right balance. Not too much, just good. Good. Now, something else I also wanted to mention was in the original photo, if you look at the bottom, he has this huge power brick thing, you know, huge. If you go to the next photo, actually, yeah, right there. You can see in the bottom right corner, and he actually has cable molding going to it. Now that is clean.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it, homies. I love it. I think it's absolutely epic. Did an amazing job. I think if you want to add to it some more lighting, You know,
Oh yeah, like maybe around the posters or something like that. Wouldn't that be cool? Like,
yeah, that might be a little like,
or like some spotlights to go down.
yeah, that's more what I was gonna like. You know, if you had some Philips Hue, let's say even just a strip behind each shelf,
Yeah, okay.
and then you have like the bloom that like shines behind the figures. That'd be epic. And plus, I mean, if you had like glass cases for all your figures, that'd be sick. Yeah, I just think it's a great setup. It's really hard to critique something like this because he did it. You know, I mean,
Would it be 100 if you just like fixed the cable management? Because I feel like that's the one point. That's one point right there.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's really, it's hard because if I give 100, people get all salty. Oh, I just hit the camera.
That's fine.
They get all salty like, oh my god.
But I feel like this one deserves it.
Yeah,
Like
if
I
that's
wish
100, then I should have 100.
Yeah.
Let 'em get it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like it's just that cable, like the underneath part looks half-assed, and I don't care being like saying it like that because really, dude, your setup is you did cable mold to your power strip. You obviously care. Why can't you just do a little bit more to this? Everything else, absolutely amazing. Love it. Great setup. And I remember your setup. And I was like, if this dude ever gets a bigger desk and adds the things I said, I'm like, he's going to get a great ass score. And I told him, posters, speakers, bigger desk, and he did it. And here he is today. Damn. Very, 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 very nice. But now it's part of the show where we give the scores. First set of the day submitted by Ethan. He got a 54. Seth with an 88. Logan with a 56. Jack with a 66. Damon with an 84. Matt with a 76. David with a 90. And Max with a 99. Super easy. Other than, well, even Max is easy to fix. But all the setups, super easy to fix. I gave some pretty good critiques. You know what I mean? I feel like I made it super easy to understand. So I like it. Great setup today. Thank you so much for submitting all fast passes. It really helps support us. We appreciate it. Definitely do, bros. So thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Pimp My Setup, episode number 203. Because last time I was here, I stole 190.
Yeah.
Whatever. So
199.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. We will see you maybe on Tuesday. But
Maybe.
definitely on Thursday. So see you later.